Welcome, everyone, to Beyond the Brandywine,
where we wander, wonder, and occasionally get lost in Middle-earth. I'm Angela.
And I'm Kelsey. Beyond the Brandywine is a cozy, curious, and occasionally chaotic journey through the stories of Middle-earth.
Join us as we laugh over the odd bits of lore and follow tangents like hobbits chasing second breakfast. We're here to explore the places where the map fades and the questions get weird.
Today, we're diving into what we've decided to call the worst jobs in Middle-earth. The roles nobody asked for, the careers no elf would sing about, and the gigs so terrible that even Sauron wouldn't list them on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I guess not everyone in Middle-earth can be a king or an elf lord, so somebody has to keep all those horse stables clean.
Exactly. Tolkien was great with his incredibly detailed descriptions of scenery and battles, and we love him for it. But we only get some small glimpses of daily life for the background characters between his writings, his notes, and the analysis of others.
It was probably for the best that he did, but that doesn't mean we can't have some fun thinking of what some of the worst jobs are.
I mean, other than ring bearer, right? I feel like that's at the top of the list. But seriously, somebody has to do all the boring, dangerous, or just completely thankless jobs that keep Middle-earth running in the background.
Can I just personally say, I'd much rather be one of those horse stable cleaners than the ring bearer. I don't need the glory, just a nice, quiet life shoveling poop.
I would say I think that depends on whether you're cleaning the stables for, say, the Rohirrim or the Ringwraiths.
Very true. Actually, now that you say that
out there,
thinking of cleaning the fell beast's poop makes being the ring bearer not seem so bad all of a sudden.
I don't know if I'd automatically jump to ring bearer. That seems like one of the more dangerous levels of jobs. So
yeah, there's all kinds of, lesser bad jobs.
Yeah, there's a scale here. There's like,
maybe we start with some of the
inconvenient to like definitely deadly.
Yeah, we can start with some of those less bad jobs that like I still wouldn't really want to do it, but it's not going to kill me.
Yeah, I'd say we start with the ones that we'll say they're thankless, but not necessarily deadly. Like you're probably not going to be having a good time, but you're definitely going to survive this kind of job unless something goes horribly wrong.
Just those normally bad jobs.
Yeah, this is like closest to just a bad office job in our world, right? It's not great.
So what's first? I can think of one.
Yeah.
The Michael Delving postal worker, a.k.a. the Hobbit postman.
The Hobbit postman, yeah, the postal workers and the Shire. Yeah, this one's interesting because I think at first glance, it doesn't sound that bad, right? You're like, oh, you're a postman. You're walking around the Shire every day. Get some sunshine, get some rolling hills, get the occasional, like, Hobbit children throwing things at you. But for the most part, it doesn't necessarily...
Shire's a great place.
Yeah.
But, until you really start thinking about it, like how big the Shire is, how much mail that they all send each other.
Yes. It feels like a lot of the Hobbit economy runs on old-timey letters and sending missives back and forth. And like you said, we know it exists, right? In the prologue of The Lord of the Rings concerning hobbits, Tolkien mentions that the Shire has a messenger service.
It's one of the few jobs that he actually points out, takes the time to talk about in the books.
Yeah, and the mayor of Michael Delving is also the postmaster general, I guess. So you're the mayor.
Two jobs, kind of.
Two jobs. Well, it must not be that bad if he can...
Well, being the mayor of the Shire is probably pretty easy, but the postman part, like, that's probably his real job.
Yeah. Well, and again, sounds pastoral, sounds scenic.
Sounds official.
Until you realize the Shire is, what, like, at least 40 miles east to west?
Yeah, I don't know the miles exactly, but yeah, we're talking a lot of hills. Like,
it's not, and I don't know if they're using... Well, horses are too big for them, right?
They're not using horses, and unless you're a Took, maybe. No, wait. Which ones use the ponies?
Oh, some of the taller members. Yes. Yeah. There's some Tooks that have been known to ride ponies, but I feel like, I don't know why. Like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I get the feeling that they're doing most of this on foot, like, the whole time.
That's definitely what I picture. Like, they're not using ponies. They're probably not riding anything. They don't have cars. So they're walking all that.
That's a lot of walking. And that's a lot of walking for a lot of messages being sent every day. They don't have the internet. They don't have cell phones.
Even just on a normal day, but especially for Bilbo's birthday.
Yes.
I think Tolkien points out how overwhelmed the postal service is.
It's like a crisis rating system. Like, I imagine there's somewhere like the situation room for the Hobbit post office, which is dusty
red
and
alert,
covered,
red alert.
never being used, right? And then you find out Bilbo's birthday is happening and they like ratchet it up to like, they're like extreme.
They got to pull in more postal workers.
It's just like, this is a crisis. They've got their operations center going, making sure everybody gets all of their, because he said the whole Shire is invited to this.
Yeah,
time,
like
right?
literally everybody's getting an invite all at once. And not just the distance, but like probably the amount of complaints that you get.
Oh, the volume? Or like if it's not delivered in a timely manner for something of this important, because they're gossiping about it. Everybody knows the birthday's happening. And they're like, where's my invitation? Like, did you lose it? Did you miss it?
Right.
Where is it? You should have brought it. My neighbor already got it. My neighbor, the Sackville bag, the Proud Seats, whole family got their invitation 3 days ago. Am I not? Are you hiding it? Has something gone wrong? Like, I can imagine the anxiety being put on the postal workers.
Actually, so little side note, I thought it was hilarious where it's like, doesn't actually matter that he sent the invitations out. Everybody showed up anyway.
Yeah.
But
what's the line from the Frodo's like, half the Shire has been invited and the other half are showing up anyway.
Exactly.
So ultimately,
it's we'll just say that it's just the expectation of getting an invitation.
Oh, but they're going to treasure, like, then they can show that they have the proof that you were actually invited, but nobody showed you invitation.
And everybody got a gift.
She was planning for everybody having a gift anyway, but you know who should have been given a gift to? The Postal Service.
The unthanked postal guy.
The unthanked postal service workers of the Shire who were tirelessly running around, sleeplessly, going to the whole Shire, delivering also, hundreds of letters.
They don't have, like, actual addresses. Do they?
They probably have
do they have numbers?
What is it? Bag end? Is it the end
of Bagshot Row?
But no, they do have numbers in some places.
Okay, that helps.
The gaffer, Sam's dad, is number 3 Bagshot Row.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
So but we don't know if that system is
like everywhere.
Throughout. I mean, look, I don't know if you've ever been to the English countryside, but it feels like that where like, okay, so there's a road.
You turn left at the big tree.
You turn left at the big tree, and like the houses may or may not have numbers, and some of them may have names, and the system isn't necessarily standardized. So you really have to know the local geography to make sure you get it to the right place.
Yeah.
And not misdeliver it or just be like,
they probably know everybody. Everybody knows it.
That's one of the benefits of the gossipy nature of the Shire is the postman also happens to know everybody. But yeah, like, I can't imagine. Like, can you?
Well, it sounds like a busy job.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Well, for celebrations and stuff. So, like, say there's a new mayor or one of the Hobbit weddings or a birthday party of special magnificence or the old Took is doing something kooky. Like, I'm sure you have these spikes throughout the Hobbit calendar or, like, during the holiday seasons, too.
Yes. Sorry, I just realized that
was a face. You were like,
I'm just imagining, because I start imagining what you're talking about, and then I imagine the postal guy doing the mail delivery, and he's talking to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's got to take more than a day.
Well, and also,
what's the backlog?
How much can he carry with him, right? He's not driving around in a postal service.
Right. It's like probably each day of the week he takes it to a different farthing of the Shire and then, talking to everybody on the way. It's like, see you next week. But that just sounds like a lot.
Well, you've got me thinking about how they're even carrying the mail, right? Because I think of those old school photos where it's like the burlap sack, right? That's literally over your shoulder that you're lugging around and then rooting through that to pull stuff out a la like a poorly organized Santa Claus.
Do you think that maybe they pull a donkey with a cart?
Maybe. I mean, for high volume events, right? Like if it's just your weekly traffic, I feel like they
just like
they kind of carry it around
sack,
like a backpack or a sack or something, or like a reinforced thing. But yeah, for like Bilbo's birthday.
Right.
I have a feeling the volume of things they were delivering were on such a massive scale that
we got to get the cart.
Got to get the cart or like break out the thing they never use or try to come up with something for these poor guys.
I can imagine it more people just like, we're all going out.
Yeah, like increase the numbers perhaps in addition to finding stuff. Because I was like, you don't want to walk halfway across the East Farthing and then be like, great, now I have to go back to get the other half to deliver. Right, well, just like you literally couldn't carry the other half of the letters because you had so many.
Yeah,
forgetting things would also be such a pain. I cannot.
He's going to kill me. I forgot his letter.
There's no killing in the Shire.
That's true.
They're very polite. Maybe if you misdeliver something for the Sackville Bagginses, you get a little
they wouldn't
whack
be very
on the head
happy.
With
a spoon.
Lobelia's cane or one of the spoons she stole. I mean, like, but also, you know where the Tooks live, right? It's the Smeals or whatever it's called. It's Smials.
Yeah, that's kind of familiar.
It's a giant, massive underground labyrinth of a burrow.
Oh.
So it's like all these interconnecting tunnels.
Okay.
And all these different things. And I got the sense, you hear the most about it in one of the last chapters of The Lord of the Rings, where they're talking about the scouring of the Shire.
Okay.
Which wasn't in the films, which is honestly fine with me, because the last thing you want after all
It would
that
have been a lot more.
And they get back and they're like, now you have to save the Shire. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, anyway.
Different tangent.
Like, I was happy with that edit, because it was already, you feel so bad for these guys. They've made it all the way to Mordor and back. They've done everything.
It's like, now your home is actually
married. They're like heroes of the world, and now you have to
Saruman.
deal with the party tree being torn up and bad shot row. Anyway, tangent. Yeah, so this meal is where the Tooks live. The way it's described in the Scouring of the Shire chapters makes it seem like it's a bunch of different addresses inside this giant maze of different hobbit holes.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if the postman for that section, like, does he just get to like drop it off at the front door in hopes to get to everybody?
It's like kind of like an apartment building.
Right. Or does he have to like go in and navigate his way around all these tunnels to make sure the hundreds of Tooks that live there all get their mail appropriately?
I can almost see that being easier.
Yeah. Maybe even a front desk guy.
Maybe. Yeah. Or even if it's not, it's at least all within that one area. So it's like, oh, I'm just gonna, they're close together.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I imagine being a postman, that might be my favorite building.
You know, I highly doubt these guys are paid enough for the amount of walking they do during the busy seasons, but.
Well, they don't get paid in money.
They don't?
I don't think so.
Is it like a barter economy?
Yeah. I thought it was like a barter system.
I hope they get paid, she says.
Yeah. But that's a great question.
No, Bilbo pays the people that are helping to support and set up for the party, doesn't he?
Okay. So yeah, maybe they do have money.
Well, that might be a question for the research team to figure out.
Yeah, well, yeah, if anybody knows whether they use money, I'd love to hear.
What is the currency?
What's the economy
Shire?
like?
What's the exchange rate with other parts of Middle Earth there? And honestly, like, would you be a mailman in the Shire?
Okay, so I would.
Yeah.
I actually think, especially if you like talking to people, I think it'd be fun.
Oh, that reminds me of what I was going to say. Yeah, I think the talking to people part, you know, I love a good goss section.
Yeah.
Session. I love a good Ryan Gosling section. No, I love a good gossip session, and
I get a lot of it.
I would get a lot of it. Like, I would probably get in trouble for wanting to like find out what the hot news was.
You would probably be the person to go to get the gossip.
I'm the master of information. Yes, that is my purpose in life. Yes, I would have entirely too much fun stopping to chat with everybody and probably taking way too much time on all of my routes where I'm like, hey, Otho Proudfoot, like, what's the latest? And like, I heard so-and-so is up. Really? Tell me more. Like, I want to know
exactly all
the things.
Yes.
And then keep it to myself. For what
you'd have to build the trust with everybody. You're not going to like blab, but that you're a safe one to.
I'm a naturally trusting hobbit. Don't worry.
Yeah. Right.
Everybody's going to love me. It's fine.
No, on the list, I think it would be one of the maybe harder jobs of the Shire. But
are there really any hard jobs in the Shire?
Well, yes.
Well, the sheriffs, when they have to fight off actual problems, like wolves, that's tough.
Yeah, that's harder. I was thinking of poop cleaning in the Shire, considering that all the animals, as we talked about before, are probably larger than typical for them. So so the piles of poop to a hobbit is going to be a big pile. Like,
I didn't even think about that.
Oh, no. Like, I don't know if I'd want to be a hobbit shoveling poop.
You've made me reconsidering working in animal husbandry in the Shire now, because you're right. If it's like an average, well, like if you have like a hobbit-sized shovel for a normal cow-sized.
Well, right. Yeah. It's going to take way more shovels.
It's more effort. Oh, no.
So yeah, maybe
for fertilizer, right? They've got excess fertilizer for all their
that's why
needs.
They're really good at farming. Yeah. And their pipeweed is very good.
Yeah.
All the poop.
Oh man, animal waste. The unspoken environmental disaster looming over the Shire.
So yeah, that's probably what I'd pick is for a hobbit, probably not so better jobs.
Working for Bilbo. You like walking around outside.
I would be a good postman, I think. So that's on the list for me is like hard work for a hobbit, but
for a hobbit.
not bad.
Yeah.
Like not bad job.
Again, courtesy of the Rangers keeping the entire Shire safe for hundreds of years.
Of all the jobs to pick in Hobbiton, I don't want to be the shovel pooper. Or the pooper shoveler.
The pooper shoveler. The shoveler poopeler.
Shoveler poopeler.
You don't want to deal with animal waste services, as they would probably say at the...
Not as a hobbit, because the proportion of my body to poop would be too big.
Unfathomable.
Too big of a pile. Well, we could move on to one that I wouldn't want to be.
Oh?
Which is one of It's next on the stop on the Hobbit's journey in Bree, one of Barliman Butterbur's staff at the Prancing Pony, Knob, or I think it's Hob.
Hobnob. Yeah. I think something like the Hobnob cookies.
Barliman Butterbur was not nice to his little assistants.
Okay, hear me out on this one. He's kind of a toxic boss.
Yeah.
He is. Well, one, he's super forgetful and disorganized. So there's no planning. There's no like weekly stand-up sessions with his staff. I feel like everything is very like emergency, seat of the pants, whatever happens.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, you do the thing.
He says he's scatterbrained. And then he'll say, "Hey, Knob, you woolly-footed cockroach."
Yeah, he's reading out the insults, not so much but the just general keeping track of patrons' requests. And for me, again, I don't know how much of it is the Bree we see in the books, which is hard on times, not doing so well, foot traffic is down. So maybe
he's stressed.
He's stressed, but maybe he can't afford to have the full complement of staff he normally would. But no, I think you know where I'm going.
I might, because I'm definitely thinking something.
Because when things, well, I guess things don't pick back up. When the hobbits come back through at the end of the books, it's really bad because of everything bad that's going on in the Shire. So like Bree's kind of defending itself from brigands and stuff. But he's got 2 hobbits doing everything for him.
And he still can't get it together.
He still can't. But one, like, did you hire any humans? Like, what?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like normal sized people.
You've got 2 staff. I don't think the hobbits can accomplish every task that is required when you have guests in different sizes. And different sized rooms. Because you have the human rooms and the hobbit-sized rooms.
And I don't think the hobbit-sized patrons are necessarily the ones that are there the most.
No, they're very infrequent. Like, it sounds like they have like the one or
so why not have like a full-sized assistant?
A full-size assistant? Well, no offense to hobbits, right?
Right.
They're very capable. But he's like super disorganized. He's got 2 hobbits and he makes them literally stable hands, cooking, cleaning, attending to guests, running out on random errands, dealing with things that go bump in the night. Like these guys.
No, seriously, worst boss ever. Because like, yeah, you're right. In the middle of the night, they're still getting stuff together. Yeah. When do they sleep?
I don't think they do sleep. This is why I was like, I hope these guys like. I mean, there's no workplace like organization they can complain. Yeah, he's screaming at them constantly, but at least the little snippet we see with the hobbits and Strider in the early chapters, like they're working 24/7.
Oh yeah, I feel bad for them.
I hope
they're getting insulted while they're working so hard.
And he's screaming all these. You feel like it's the kind of boss that's gonna like hit him upside the head when they walk by.
I feel like the hobbits and maybe even Strider, I can't really remember. Like they're nicer to them than Butterbur.
Well, it's funny because Gandalf seems to really like Butterbur despite his sort of flakiness.
Well, so this is where we were just gonna disagree on, like, maybe he's just extra stressed because at the end of Gandalf's letter that Frodo is reading, at the bottom, he's like, if Butterbur forgets, I forget what exactly he was going to forget, I shall roast him. Oh. And basically, he's like, he knows he's forgetful. That's just how he is all the time. It's not like he's extra stressed.
Maybe he should have somebody else assigned to dealing with requests from wizards. But yeah, he sounds kind of awful. Like, oh, he's a nice innkeeper who's kind of quirky. No, he screams at his hobbit staff and makes them work all day.
Yeah.
And then doesn't really give them a break. And
you definitely get it definitely comes across in the books, especially that, he's not... I mean, he's forgetful. Yeah, he's not a good boss. He kind of ruins, well, let's see. I don't know about ruin, but he just impedes. He is very helpful, though. He, like, gets their horses together.
Yeah, and he apologizes and gives them their little private room. And, like,
maybe
he does
he's
some things.
Better to Hob and Knob, like, in the background than he is in front of the guests.
He doesn't let them sleep. To me, that's an immediate red flag. Like, they're working. I think later on you find out, like, when the hobbits come back to Bree at the end of the books, that it's gotten so dangerous, quote unquote, that like Hob goes home at night because he doesn't want to stay in the inn and he wants to be with his family.
Oh, he has a family.
Right. And I was like, did he get to I was like, maybe this turn of events making Bree more dangerous was the first time he'd had work-life balance and actually got to see his family.
Yeah. Oh, poor guy.
It was one of the two that, like, I was like, has he seen his family in how long?
That wife needs to be like, you need a new job.
Yeah. But there's no other, tell me another inn you can work at in the area, right? This is the only one.
Yeah, I guess if that's what your experience is doing.
Maybe if you go to the Shire.
There's got to be something else you could do.
Yeah. Butterbur is not, like, again, it's stressful. It's awful. You have no work-life balance. Is it deadly?
No.
Maybe only when the Nazgul break into the inn, but
not really. Otherwise, it just sucks as a day-to-day job. Day-to-day. As a day-to-day job, it sucks.
Yeah, as a day-to-day job, it is not anything you want to do long-term. Well, actually, in a similar vein, so the next one is the one that, when we were talking about bad jobs in Middle-earth, this was the first one that popped into my head. And I think you had it too, which is working for somebody who's not necessarily easy to deal with. And that is Denethor, the steward of Gondor's steward, butler,
even
his
worse
staff.
than Barliman Butterbur. Like, he's just kind of quirky and bad work-life balance. But Denethor, he's on
the verge of a mental breakdown, existential crisis, the end of the world, doom and gloom, pretty much the entire time we see him.
Yeah. And so, I mean, even though that's probably at his worst, I still can't imagine him being too much better than that. I don't know.
All I know is you have to, like, clean up tomato juice.
I know. I don't want to be the guy that has to clean up his food after dinner.
Particular, like, this tomato wasn't crispy and juicy enough to explode upon dramatically when I
unripe tomato.
What kind of a tomato is this? Can't have dramatic effect with these tomatoes.
Right.
Yeah, he is slowly losing his mind thanks to looking into a palantir. He thinks the world's going to end. He's depressed over his son dying.
I was going to say, do you think it was better before Boromir died to work for?
Marginally. It's implied in the books that he's never been the same since his wife died. And his wife died either giving birth to Faramir or when Faramir was very young. I think it's while giving birth to Faramir.
I could see
which
him.
is why he blames Faramir, which is the wrong thing to do as a parent and a dad.
It is.
But apparently he was really happy.
That gives some perspective, though.
Apparently he was really happy when he was married.
Okay.
Would he have stayed happy given the events of the books? I don't know. His wife dying didn't help.
It didn't help.
Boromir dying was kind of the nail in that coffin, if you will.
Okay, so we can say that we don't like the thought of being his, butler / assistant after his wife dying.
Yes. Yeah, in his later years, I think he would be most unpleasant to work for. And, what are you going to have request? You're going to request to stand while he has a word fight with Gandalf. You're going to have to pick up his tomatoes for him. You're going to have to go pick up gear while he sends his son Faramir off to his death. Unflinchingly. Like, that line, that's so cold. When Faramir asks, like, to Denethor, like, do you wish that my and Boromir's places had been traded, aka do you wish that I had died?
Yeah.
And Boromir had lived? And he says, yep.
Yeah.
Which is so...
Can you imagine that?
Cold, stone cold killer there. So if he speaks like that to his son, I can't imagine how he speaks to his servants.
Oh, yeah. No, thanks.
Yeah.
Poor Pippin. He volunteered for that.
Pippin didn't listen to Gandalf and volunteered for something he didn't know what he was doing for, and it worked out in the end. But yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I just can't imagine, though, like watching, like standing there. I'm standing next to him as he's eating his dinner. And just seeing all the juice spill out and be like, God damn it. Keep it on your plate.
Splash warning for the tomatoes. I mean, of course, we're drawing this from the film.
I know.
I don't think he is described as eating his food that dramatically in the books, but I will never... It's one of the iconic scenes in the movie. Like, everybody sees
Everybody
that
knows the tomato scene.
knows the scene, and I'm just gonna... that is the Denethor that we have forever.
It's a good visual for probably what it would... Yeah.
Well, there's also a scene in the books where he's described as eating alone, staring at nothing, while Faramir is trying to report on, like, everything that's been going on in Ithilien or whatever. And the book says that Denethor sat at a small table, and a servant brought wine and food and set these before him, and he left them untasted. So you're doing all this work for a guy who just doesn't even...
Okay. And doesn't...
mess with...
Yeah.
Maybe the occasional tomato.
No, thank.
But no. But, like, you're doing a lot of work and you're watching this guy go crazy and you're just like, why? What are you going to tell him? He's a steward of Gondor. You can't speak. Gandalf tries to speak to him and that doesn't go well either.
Well, so you said that scene was in the book where they put all the food out in front of him and he didn't eat it. I'm kind of glad in the movies that they showed him eating in that fashion because it was almost worse.
I think it makes him a little crueler.
Yeah.
There are things I take umbrage with that they did in the films to Denethor, but that was definitely one of the things I liked. And and like, again, you're his steward while he's losing his mind and trying to burn himself and Faramir alive. Like, what do you do in that situation?
Yeah, so this brings out another one for me is, and I'm going to get his name wrong, starts with a B.
The guy who's his assistant that, like, takes Pippin around the city and takes him under his watch in the guard.
Yeah. Wait, is that the guy? Yeah.
Yes.
But he's one of the Citadel, like, watch guys, right?
Yes. He's part of the Tower Guard.
Yeah, Tower Guard. So I wouldn't want to be him because you had to make the choice of whether to abandon your post, and that's equal to death, or saving Faramir.
Yeah. Yeah, he forfeits his life in saving Baragond.
Baragond, yeah.
Baragond. So he's a member of the Tower, not in the films at all. He's kind of Pippin's like, hey, I'll show you how things work around here. And he's actually the reason that Faramir doesn't die in the books.
Right.
He has to kill one of the guards to the cemetery.
That's right. He actually has to kill.
Which is why I think his life is technically forfeit.
But even leaving his post, I'm pretty sure it was like also big.
Yeah, until officially dismissed by Denethor. I think Denethor, he does dismiss. He dismisses Pippin, just like in the movie, right? Where he's like, I no longer need your services. But yeah, Baragond, Pippin's basically like, I gotta go get Gandalf, hold down the fort with this crazy guy who's trying to self-immolate with himself and Faramir. And Baragond, like, has to kill the guy guarding the cemetery to even get to Denethor and try to stop what's going on.
Yeah.
And she feels really bad about, but like, again, like,
you have to make that choice.
Like, Denethor's staff, who's guarding the cemetery, is like, I can't let you in. It's my job. I don't know what you're going to do. And the guy's like, you got to let me in.
Right.
But like, not choices I would want to make. But
don't want to be that guy.
Horrible boss to work for. Horrible dad to have, at least in his later years. He just doesn't sound like someone I'd want to deal with. So I mean, like, no thank you.
Yeah.
He's not for me.
Let's see. Anything else in that thankless but not deadly category?
We can do an honorable mention to anything that's kind of
poop everywhere. Just
anything to do with cleaning, dealing with orcs, like cleaning up after anything that falls in the general category of the Dark Lord and his minions doesn't sound like.
There are no descriptions of those places being clean.
Right. So maybe people just gave up over time.
Do they even do it? Yeah. They might not even have that job over there.
Maybe it's a nothing burger because they don't have to worry about cleaning up because they just don't clean up.
Fair, but that sounds so disgusting.
That sounds horrific. So we're gonna skip over that one and go to the next category, I think, which is sort of our isolated and exposed jobs. Like, not great, probably not gonna die,
but still
definitely not fun. Like, and also still thankless in a lot of cases, depending on what's going on.
I will say, that Gondor Beacon Keeper. That would be my top choice in this category.
Like the one you would actually do?
Yeah, for real. I've actually thought about like wildfire lookout. You know, you just stay in the tower for, you have your period of time that you're up there, but it's isolated, but as an introvert, I wouldn't want to do it for more than maybe a few months at one time.
Well, the Steward of Gondor doesn't say you can only work for a few months at a time. You don't know what the term limits are.
I don't know what the term limits are, but I like to think that all those people have families and they probably have a rotation.
This is a very generous interpretation of, I like to think because
I like to think they have a rotation. Otherwise, I mean, so if we say the other side of things, that guy is just up there for life and has brought food, I suppose.
With them, but like, what if you're up there the whole...
Yeah, then no thanks.
Until your watch is ended,
I figured it was a rotation.
See? Well, I was like, maybe in the early years of Gondor, they had a better work-life balance, but as the kingdom falls into ruin and there's civil war and strife
your
and
time gets longer and longer,
maybe they're like, you know what? You're there forever.
I mean, some of those were up, at least in the movies, they were up in the snow-capped mountains. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to pick that beacon.
No. To be in the winter. So-and-so got in trouble with the steward, so guess which beacon they're getting sent to.
It's like, no, anything but that beacon.
Yeah, anything but that. You think they have like a tier list of beacons? I was like, oh, you're going to that beacon.
I bet they do.
I don't know. Like they're described as, keeping signal fires in readiness and stabled fresh horses for couriers. So they have to be accessible by horse. Cool. Somebody's got to feed and bring stuff for the horses.
So the horses probably have
isolated out. Like it's not the best, it's not the worst, but like you're not hanging out there until your horse falls over.
So if they got to change the horses out, you don't think that they'd change the humans out?
Yeah, or they have enough like space and food for the horses, so like it can't be
right.
Can't be great, can't be bad. But if they need the horses like ready to go, they got to be in decent health and well fed.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Or they just get lazy over the years and don't keep things as they should be.
In this category, though, I think that would be my choice. What else we got?
Well, I was trying to think about how far apart the beacons are, too. It's like, I don't know if this is accurate, but I read somewhere that the total chain is 150 miles or so from Minas Tirith to the border of Rohan, like where it can be seen.
That sounds reasonable.
So I don't know how many towers there are, but that's like not a small amount of towers, depending on visibility and weather and other things. There's a whole network of...
Yeah, and I wonder if it's, is it the worst job or is it actually like one of the more special...
You get to be out of the way.
I mean, you're not going to die in the battle, so... Especially during the time of Lord of the Rings.
You might die of loneliness and starvation. No.
Again, as an introvert.
Boredom. You'll die of boredom.
As long as I have some books, I'll survive.
You gotta pay attention too. Like, my fear, I would be very bad at this job because I'm easily distracted, as you know. And like, I would be the person who's just like, oh, it's, whatever.
Fall asleep.
Bored and fall asleep reading a book. Wake up.
No,
realize
the
there's
beacon's
been a
lit.
beacon. You don't know how long it's been going. And I'm like, well, I messed that one up. Or like, you just miss it entirely. And like, can you imagine being on one beacon and like things are kicking off? Like there's a war, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta light the beacons.
And you broke the chain.
And you light yours. And you're watching, right? Because you know they're watching.
Oh, and you don't see the next one
goes up. And you don't see it going up. And you don't see it going up.
Right.
Like, what do you do in that situation? Like,
they don't have cell phones.
They don't have cell phones. Can't just send a giant eagle for funsies.
Yeah.
That would be the worst for me, just being like, what?
It's like, do I have to go ride over there? Like, what's...
Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess that's why you have the horses, among other reasons.
That's probably what I would do if I saw the next beacon not lighting.
Bob
like,
on
something's
the next
wrong.
Over is derelict in his duties. And now we've got to... But like, that could be a big deal. Like, how long... Like, what's the protocol?
How long do you wait? Yeah.
Do you wait before you're like, oh, this is a problem? Like, I don't think he's seen the signal. It's not that he's like out going to the bathroom or something. Like, he really
depends on how long it takes to actually light it, but it doesn't sound like that much time. So,
I mean, if we assume they're like the one in the movie with like the oil's ready to go,
right? You've
definitely got fire start or something to like make it light up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Not that long, but it depends on the wood, if it's wet, if it's dry, if it's...
I'd maybe give it, I don't know, like up to a few hours is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, like, so, but then like you multiply that by 150 miles of beacons.
Yeah.
Are we talking days before Rohan finds out what's up? Like, it's not in the movie, like, practically speaking, it's not in the movies where it's like, bam, bam, bam.
Right. Yeah.
No. Like, let it sing, wait, see if Bob lights it, figure out if there's a problem, see if the chain breaks down. Like, this is
still faster than riding directly.
I don't know. Questions that need answering. I think this one, it's fine. I don't know if I'd do it. I don't know if I wouldn't do it compared to some of the other ones.
I'm still on board.
Yeah. Well, the next one, I think we both agree neither of us would want to do. And that is
Sauron's
tower maintenance crew, whatever you want to call them. But like the group of people, establishing shot, right? Opening of, well, not opening, but Lord of the Rings. And the first time we see Sauron, the Dark Lord's tower,
right?
Barad-dûr. And they kind of do the dramatic, like,
sweep around,
camera movement around and going up. And it's, it's described in the books. But there's all this scaffolding and you hear construction noises and stuff. And they're clearly working on rebuilding and expanding the tower. Those guys...
There's a lot of manual labor.
There's a lot of manual labor. Like this...
And hot. Like, we're talking volcano.
Yeah.
And
there's like lava
fire
running
everywhere.
Into the base and falling off the edges. They've like got towers. Like, who's digging the channel?
There's no
OSHA. No, there's no OSHA. I think we can firmly say there is no OSHA in Mordor.
If you fall in, nobody's saving you.
Workplace complaints are non-existent. You get sent to Shelob if you complain. Yeah, I think about the poor guys that are like orcs, slaves. We don't know if they're orcs or humans or whatever, that are like the stonemasons hanging out on a very not safe platform on the edge of Barad-dûr, like trying to chip something to the Dark Lord's specifications and then like try not to fall into the lava while you're out there. And look, a fell beast flew by and accidentally clipped your scaffolding. Yeah. Too bad. Like, or maybe the fell beast eats you as it flies.
And there's so much treachery between the orcs that like they could sabotage. You did something to me yesterday, so I'm just gonna knock your tower down while you're
kick you off the scaffolding.
Well, that's why I love the chapter in The Return of the King in Shelob's lair section, or Cirathungel, and you get two of the orcs talking.
Yes.
Shagrat and I forget the other one's name.
Oh my god, they're my favorite couple. I want to spin off like buddy cop movie about them.
Yes. Yeah, I'm blanking on the other one's
Gorbag.
name. Yes, Gorbag. Shagrat and Gorbag.
They're my boys, man.
Yeah, but you just get some knowledge of how they talk to each other and what they complain about, which is kind of normal stuff in a way.
It's kind of the same like day-to-day. I love that chapter. I'm with you on that. It's this weird little insight because it's all this seriousness and Frodo and Sam and Gollum and Shelob and then you get this like aside that's like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, but like orc style with Shagrat and Gorbag, and they're complaining about their bosses, and talking about getting in trouble and like work-life balance for orcs, and you're like, it is the most normal thing I think Tolkien wrote. Like, yes, it's two orcs talking,
right?
But their complaints are so relatable.
Absolutely.
It really humanizes them.
It did a little. And
I feel for them.
But don't they kill each other, though?
Yeah, those are the two guys that start the whole fight at the tower. And Sam shows up. But
it still doesn't sound like the crew that I'd want to be on.
So here's the thing. I love these two. I wasn't kidding when I said I wanted buddy cop with these guys, because there's a bit in the dialogue where they talk about, like, you know, maybe if this all shakes out and we conquer Gondor, like, you and I can go, like, live in Gondor. They're, like, making plans for the future together.
Absolutely, yeah. They're, like, going to go settle somewhere else.
We'll go colonize part of Gondor once we take over after the war. And, like, they've got plans. Yeah. They've got hopes for the future.
They've got hopes and dreams.
And they're stuck complaining about the bureaucracy of the tower. And I think the ring is really what turns them against each other, because Frodo...
Oh no, it's the mithril coat.
So they fight over the... Oh, that's right. They fight over the mithril coat.
Maybe, because Frodo doesn't have it.
No, Sam took it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the jealousy and the fighting over, like, the shiny shirt.
Another tangent, though, because that was one of my favorite lines from the orcs in the movies, where it's when the orc is like, hands off, that shiny shirt
is mine.
Which is a line in the books, too, but just the way he said it, I just laughed.
He delivered it really well. Yeah. I think that might be Jed Brophy. There's a very famous actor who's done a bunch of the orcs in the films. He's the same in The Two Towers, what about their legs? They don't need those. That guy?
Yeah.
He's done a bunch of the orcs, and I think he did one of the two orcs in the tower.
That's
either
awesome.
Shagrat or Gorbag. Yeah, I love Shagrat and Gorbag. Like, I know this is a tangent, but I'm putting out my love to the universe for these two. I kind of like to think about the future they could have had.
Right.
Like, just setting up, I don't know what they would have done in Gondor together, but, like,
it's their two families next to each other.
It's so cute that, like, they're just like, yeah, we can, like, plan for this.
Almost makes you feel bad for them, but...
I do feel bad for them. You know, I do.
But of all the maintenance crews,
Barad-dûr. Back to Barad-dûr and the I think, generally speaking, just working on any of the Dark Lords, anything. Like, you're not going to have workplace safety. You're not going to have a complaints. You're going to have to deal with layers of bosses and angry Nazgul and creatures and lack of organization. Wait, the poor
orc that was standing behind Saruman, I think, digging up his new Uruk-hai.
Oh, the one that gets choked to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh.
And the other...
He didn't even do anything.
No, the Uruk-hai woke up and chose violence that morning. That was it. Yeah.
And there's, like, that other orc behind Saruman that's just like, oh, God.
Well, he's trying to move to save him, and Saruman holds him back.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay, yeah.
He's
like, no.
I will say, that is one of the things in Rings of Power that I appreciate, that they show the more
humanized that works.
Humanized elfy that works. Sorry, I don't know, because they used to be elves. Right? It's not humanizing.
You're right.
Elfifies them, elfinize them. You see them with families. You see them having orc babies. You see, like, this, and you kind of forget that they're there working for the Dark Lord. And I'm sure there's bad eggs across the board, but there's definitely a part of their nature that doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, they're like, just doing their jobs.
Even at the end of the Third Age, you have Shagrat and Gorbag. Like, you know, maybe it'd be really nice if we could settle down in Gondor someday. Like, there's still a part of them that doesn't want to be wholly evil in some cases.
It's hard to have too much sympathy. But yeah, I do have sympathy for where they have to work.
Yes.
Because it sounds awful.
Sounds awful. Okay, in our Isolated and Exposed.
I'm going to let you do the one that I think.
This one I feel very strongly about. This one.
You added this one to the list,
I did.
And I love it.
Well, justice for Bill the Pony.
Bill the Pony.
I feel very strongly, like, look, they rescue him from Bree. They rescue
from, what's his name?
Bill Ferny. Who's, like, mistreated him, and they find him all scraggly and starved, and
they barely even want to take him at the time.
They didn't think he could carry all those stuff, because he's so underfed and mistreated and malnourished, and they take him, and Sam takes care of them, and he gets all fat and happy.
He thrives outside of...
He's so thrilled to have a good master, and, like, really, really excited for him. Like, happy this happens to Bill the Pony. And he makes it all the way to Rivendell and has a grand old time while Frodo's healing up, and we're all making our plans. And then they take him with them on their dangerous, probably not going to end well, 0 chance of success journey.
Right.
Which I have thoughts on. I was like, you don't have any, like, elven horses or something that, like,
you got to take Bill the Pony.
Bill the Pony. Like, I know you guys have formed a bond with him.
Sam probably couldn't bear to leave him.
Why is Sam so selfish? She could let him have a lovely, quiet life in Rivendell and live out his best pony days. So I have
fair.
Like, yeah, he's like, you really, and, like, maybe he was like, I want to come with you. Like, sure, fine,
we can put that on.
He's a pony. He doesn't know what he's getting into.
It's like, no, Bill the Pony, you can't
stay. This is not a safe journey for you.
They didn't necessarily know that they were going to go through the Mines of Moria, where they had to let him turn around.
Fair. Counterpoint, they knew they were going to go over the mountains in a really dangerous snow path.
Also fair.
In the best part of the season, which still isn't great,
Yeah.
in the middle of a snowstorm that
So
the
yeah,
hobbits
little
barely
build
gonna get out
pony
of.
can't get over
Yeah,
there.
so I have some questions about like taking care of your animals here. Okay, fine. So they didn't know they were going into Moria, but they knew they were going into. They were all originally planning to go into Mordor. So how's that going to work out for Bill the Pony, right?
True. Yeah.
I also don't know how he would have like been in a boat across the river, but we never get to that.
The point still stands.
The point still stands. Like, what was your long-term plan with Bill the Pony, who's also carrying all of your stuff?
Right.
Like they pile him up with like all the pots and pans and all the heavy and the food. And, like this guy is talk about overburden. Okay. Yeah. We get to the Mines of Moria, which is not the original plan. We have just had like the night before a bunch of wolves and wargs attack the Fellowship. Not in the movie, but like they narrowly survive a horrendous attack by wargs, scramble their way to the doors of Durin, get attacked by the Watcher in the water. And like
then,
like Sam is like literally starting to take gear off Bill the Pony because they've decided you can't come with us into the Mines of Moria. And Bill's all sad. And then Q2, the Watcher attacking Frodo. Sam just forgets Bill even exists and goes to save Frodo.
Yeah,
and that's it. You care about this pony so much, but as soon as your master's in danger, you don't.
I could see that.
What about Bill?
I know.
Justice for Bill.
Well, this is why he's on the list.
Yes, justice for Bill. So, and then so they're playing. They get to the doors of Durin and at the gates of Moria, and they're like, "All right, Bill,
survive in the wild.
Good luck." Like they take off.
Be careful, those wolves.
Yeah, Sam takes off as much gear as he gets to before he gets distracted by the attack with Frodo, and they know there are wolves out there trying to get to them, and they just set them loose. And they're like, "You know what? I hope you make it, buddy." And like that's it. Like they don't. No.
Can you imagine how Bill felt then? It's like, well, okay.
Yeah. See ya. I guess. Okay, bye. I'll try not to die. I think there's a moment where Gandalf says something to him. I don't know. Like, I get the sense that...
Did he kind of put a little good luck
my
spell
head
on him?
canon is Gandalf put a spell of protection on him. Because Gandalf's like, no, he'll find his way back. I'm like, how do you know that?
I can't remember in the books exactly that interaction, but I feel like that's probably...
I like to think Gandalf was looking out for Bill. But either way... Yeah. Everybody else is like, thanks for making it this far, buddy. And you almost froze to death in the mountain pass. And now we've been all, you know what? Bye-bye.
I do love where he ends up, though. Doesn't he end up back with Tom Bombadil's
ponies? Yeah. Like
so he ends up in a good spot.
Like, I think we should have a whole spin-off movie on Bill the Pony's journey back to
what
Rivendell
adventures
and
he gets into.
The adventures of Bill the Pony. Like, he makes it through the worst years and ring race searching and wargs and goblins attacking, and he makes it back all on his own. So good on him. But
no, the feeling of Bill the Pony when he has to turn around and all of his fellowship is
I think
going into the mines.
I think the Fellowship did him dirty. I'm sorry. Justice for Bill the Pony. Thank you for I feel
poor Bill.
Yeah,
we all love Bill.
We love Bill.
Next category. Probably fatal.
I think we have one.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I can't forget about Fatty Bolger.
Well, everybody else does.
That's true. I mean,
his friends do.
So he's not a big character.
Yes,
and he is not in the movies.
Yes,
only in the books.
Yes.
He's like, let's see, because there's Merry, Pippin, Frodo, and Sam, and he's kind of like the fifth wheel.
He's like the fifth amigo that doesn't get his anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he still isn't very talkative and like a main character even in the books, but. He is there as part of the kind of, well, instead of foursome, he's a part of the fivesome.
Yeah.
Of like planning to leave the Shire.
He's actually, at least in the early chapters in the planning, it's implied in some scenes that he's more critical to what's going on than Sam in some parts.
Yeah, I think Sam was like the informant. He was like hanging out with Frodo most of the time and gathering information.
Yeah.
But Fatty Bolger was maybe like more of the planner than anybody.
And Sam's just a servant. Like, I'm going to be really rude right now. Frodo is landed gentry. Merry and Pippin are nobility. Fatty's pretty well-to-do. And then Sam's the odd one out as the servant. So, like, at least for the planning stuff, it's like the other Merry, Pippin, and Fatty are the ones actually doing anything. And Sam's just the gardener. Like, he's
the gardener and informant,
but he's a servant. So, like, he's not at the same levels. I mean, it's kind of, it feels more apparent in the early chapters.
But yeah, so they figure out that Frodo is trying to leave the Shire. And in the books, it's not a surprise to them. Like, they know that he's trying to leave. And so Fatty's role is to stay behind in the house that was meant for Frodo and pretend to be Frodo.
Yeah.
While the Nazgul are looking for him.
He's a decoy. He's in a very dangerous position.
Yeah. And so I can only imagine being Fatty Bolger, like having to stay behind and just wait for the Nazgul to show up.
Well, and yeah, you're right. This isn't in the movies at all. Like, there's a whole, there's a lot of things that are different, right? Like, there's 17 years between Bilbo's birthday party and Gandalf showing up again and a few other things. But Frodo has time to plan an escape route.
Yeah.
Where he's like, oh, I'm leaving Hobbiton. I have decided to take a house closer to my family's lands in Buckland.
In Buckland, yeah.
And then, like, it's a house.
Yeah, he doesn't just leave Hobbiton.
No.
He, like, plans a whole move and makes a
whole show of it.
Yeah.
Or, like, selling off stuff and moving furniture. And yeah, so they, like...
And he, like, settles into this house for a little while or pretends to.
Well, they barely make it there, right?
That's right, you're right.
It's very dicey. Like, the Nazgul are already on their
because he waits to, like, the last second to leave.
He waits until... Well, in the books... I actually wish they'd shown this in the movies. In the books, he waits until the Nazgul are coming up Bagshot Row.
That's right.
Like, to the last second. He and Sam are, like, making their way... And the gaffer is holding off the Nazgul, talking to the Nazgul.
That's right. Yeah.
He's right there. Like, way too late. I love Sam's dad, the gaffer, because he's just like, what are you on about? Like, he's like practically yelling at the Nazgul, like giving him what for.
And kind of playing dumb at the same time.
Yeah,
like,
kind of playing dumb. I don't know where they're going. Yeah, but like, Nazgul is going up the hill that Gandalf came with his fireworks. It's like Frodo and Sam are just barely. Yeah, right. So they barely make it to the house that Frodo's let. And then, they're like, so Fatty, can you pretend to be me? We know all these Nazgul are coming. We don't know what they are. They're really bad.
Yeah.
Try not to get yourself killed by.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, and then you just gotta like, roll your thumbs together and just be like, doo-doo-doo.
Yeah.
Any moment
scary.
now. Yeah. No.
Like he knows they're coming and he barely gets out.
Yeah, I just like reread this even last night. Yeah, I think he hears something and kind of bolts out the door and it's like, nope. And he ends up running maybe further into town, or he starts ringing the bells.
Yeah, the fire foes.
Yeah, fear fire foes awake.
Yes.
Yeah, and wakes up the whole town of Buckland. Yeah. And I don't know what they do exactly.
I don't know if to describe what they do, but he's at least...
But he's like alerting everybody, like,
the Nazgul are here.
Danger.
Yeah, danger. Well, he doesn't know they're Nazgul, right? But yeah, like... Again, is it a day job? No. Is it a regular thing? No. But the fact that he takes this on and is like, it's
still his job for... Yeah.
And then he doesn't know what happens to the rest of them for like a year.
That's
he doesn't
true.
know if it's worth it to risk his life.
Well, yeah.
It's like,
you just now got to continue living your life.
He doesn't see them till they show back up and they're like fancy gear and their war stuff and like they've made riches and fame and like Fatty's just been like,
I would have liked for them to get in touch with Fatty again at the end.
I hope they did because
they're good hobbits.
He's kind of the reason they got away, and he's not famous. He doesn't get to meet Aragorn. He doesn't go on any adventures. He tries not to get killed by the Nazgul and waits around in Hobbiton for a year and sees the scouring of the Shire and eventually sees them when they come back.
Yeah.
Thankless.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they thank him and stuff. Still.
No thanks.
No. Should we move on to probably fatal?
Probably fatal.
Probably likely, most definitely.
Most likely fatal.
Definitely fatal.
You'd be lucky if it wasn't fatal.
Well, the first one we know is a fatal job.
It is a fatal
job.
Ultimately, but doesn't necessarily,
just kind of how it shakes out.
It's not in the job description directly, but
no, it is. It is our dear sweet Mouth of Sauron, which so good in the films. Love the depiction.
I wonder, though, besides the death factor, would it not be that bad of a job?
No, I think
being the mouthpiece
would be fine. Like, if you have no morals, it's a great job.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
you definitely can't have any
care
morals.
About the fate of the world. I mean,
if you have morals, it'll definitely be a fatal job. But...
No, he's not a nice person, right? So, like, I don't feel that bad for his job. He's described as, it said he was one of those who had been known as the Black Númenóreans, for they had become utterly evil, serving Sauron even in the days before his fall, and they were numbered among his servants when he was overthrown. So these are guys that were like Team Sauron
for life
before he gets over them. They're like they put their lot in with him, against their own people. So not a good person at all. But there is something to be said for having to be what's essentially like the PR spokesperson.
Yeah,
for the big bad in the universe at this point in time.
It kind of gives me the impression that would be a job that is a little cushy in the land of Sauron. And so
he's pretty high up the evil hierarchy at that point in time.
Yeah, like he's not going to be on the scaffolding.
Yeah.
He's probably got his own room. Yeah. His own office.
He has to share bunks
a window,
with the Nazgul or other orcs or something. He's got his own.
If I were...
He's even ensuite bathroom in Barad-dûr.
Like if I had if I was evil
Mhm.
and had no morals myself,
Mhm.
then the Mouth of Sauron might be one of the top jobs.
He's basically a glorified, like, he's not fighting, as
Yeah.
far as we know. We don't know if he gets sent out to fight stuff.
Yeah.
He gets to tell people what to do.
Yeah.
He gets to proclaim the word of Sauron. I hope he
Yeah.
never makes up stuff to be like, you know what Sauron said was, to like get his own way. He's like, Sauron said that you need to be given
Oh,
triple
man.
portions of dinner, right? Like,
You know, for the personality type that has to be in that position, I could see it happening.
And I don't know. The all-seeing eye might know that he lied about his rations or getting a nicer cut of
Yeah, I
silk
don't
off
know
a
if-
dead body or something. But
Specifically Sauron, probably isn't the boss
not
you
the
want to do
boss.
that under.
Yeah,
But
you don't want to cross this boss. But yeah, I thought it'd be funny on there because just the notion of Sauron having a spokesperson of sorts, like maybe not in the traditional modern PR sense, but
you do pretty much have to say whatever Sauron wants you to say, regardless of what you think about it.
Yeah. And like maybe there's some magic connection where he's like so pledged into Sauron's service that he doesn't necessarily have control over all the words that come out of his mouth. That's
that
not
could be
great,
true.
right? We don't really know. But I put it on the deadly list because we do know his fate, which is he comes out at the Black Gate and says the word of Sauron to try to trick them into thinking they have Frodo. And then he gets beheaded.
Yep.
Which is not the most kingly thing
It's
Aragorn
definitely
does.
a risk.
It's like, if you're going in front of all these enemies of Sauron, there is a risk to your life and limb every time, potentially.
You can't just blab your mouth and expect nothing to happen.
Yeah, like you're constantly, if you think of it in terms of bad job vibes, right? You're constantly in front of people that do not like you or your boss.
Yeah.
Like if you're sent out as a messenger to places to kind of bring the will of Sauron or try to convince people, you're frequently be in front of hostile people. Now, it's because you're on the wrong side and working for the bad guy, but...
Okay, so... Like in the movies, I love the character that they have, like visually, just mostly just a mouth.
And a big mouth, bigger.
Yeah.
How's his mouth looking now? Bigger.
But like, let's say Sauron has multiple mouths or, mouthpieces.
Like messengers and stuff,
Yeah. Do they all look the same? Or, I mean, that's just the visual that they chose for the movie, but.
They look different. Like if they were all different, like say some of them are these black Numenorians that pledged their service to Sauron back in the Second Age. Good choice, guys. You're definitely on the winning team. I assume they kind of keep some of the trappings of whatever they looked like or were before. Yeah. It's mutilated and changed and made much scarier over a couple thousand years later. This guy shouldn't be alive.
I would love to see more representation.
Yeah, like, again, like, what's this guy's deal? Is he undead? Is he a sorcerer? Is he a human that's been given a naturally long life?
Great
he's
questions.
Numenorian and it's been converted? Like,
well, yeah.
Suffering every day. Again, consequences of his own actions, but
that would definitely make that job even less fun.
Or like, how many mouths of Sauron have there been that Sauron's not happy and like, time for a new mouth? That one's been thrown into Mountain Dew.
It does seem like it comes with a lot of job hazard.
Well, he chose that boss. He chose this life. I won't.
But if you're doing a good job, it does seem pretty cushy.
Yeah. Mouth of Sauron. Not one I want, but also like I have no sympathy for the guy.
No.
He put in with the wrong lot.
The next one is definitely very low on my list. One of the orc patrols for Shelob's lair. Which
oh man,
we
kind of Shagrat and Gorbag.
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to say we already kind of talked about two of them, but yeah, the people that have to patrol those outer corridors of where Shelob
basically
lives.
Between Minas Morgul and that other tower that Frodo and Sam make their way to.
Yeah.
Gotta cross through Shelob's lair.
Gotta go by it. And then they do like feed her other orcs or, other maybe prisoners that they have. So just high likelihood of getting eaten by Shelob.
High likelihood of getting eaten by a giant spider spirit. High likelihood of just constant stress on the job, because what if you get on your manager's bad side and then like you get on the list for being fed to Shelob?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
There's also a chance that you can just randomly get nabbed by her. They talk about it. I think it's that same conversation with Shagrat and Gorbag.
I think so, yeah.
They basically talk about one of the orcs that was on patrol with them got caught in the webs and caught by Shelob. They're like, old Bob, yeah, that sucked. We saw him the next week. He was still alive, but we chose not to rescue him because we didn't want to upset Shelob.
Yeah.
That's
you don't...
Nothing.
You don't crush Shelob.
Don't crush Shelob. But can you imagine being Bob? Because that's actually how we find out about Frodo not being dead.
Right.
Because they've seen her where she paralyzes them but doesn't kill them. Because
they're like explaining it.
Yeah, and they're like, when we found Bob and he wasn't dead, whatever his name was, it's not actually Bob. But
I love
imagine being Bob the orc and like being hanging upside down a week later and you finally see your buddies thinking you're going to be rescued.
Come get me.
And they're like,
no.
Nice knowing you. We keep walking.
Honestly, though, I feel like as an orc, you know that you're not getting saved.
That's tough, man. That's
It is.
really tough.
Just just being an orc worker, no matter what level.
It's a hard orc life for us.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's not a fun one.
I guess similarly, Angband slave workers.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, that's just on a level above Barad-dûr and Sauron. That's like...
Yeah, you thought working for Sauron was bad. Try Morgoth.
Right.
In the first age.
Right. Yeah.
No.
The original baddie.
Yeah, I think I put this one, when we were talking about places, this one popped into my head because it's all the bad things we've talked about with Mordor and Sauron on a whole nother level, on a whole bigger scale.
There's Balrogs in there now.
Yeah, we're not just talking fell beasts and Nazgul and the occasional spider. We're talking
like nameless
things and Balrogs and dragons. And he creates this whole fortress underground, and like no one gets in and out for at least 400 years. So like if you're going in as a slave, you are not coming back out of there.
Yeah, it seems hot and stuffy. I mean, just fire
fall into
everywhere.
the void by accident, accidentally get eaten by the nameless things. It's just bad news all around. And
I feel like they're constantly creating more orcs, not just to build the armies bigger, but to just replace the casualties of working there.
They gotta constantly, again, no OSHA anywhere in any of the Dark Lord's realms. But when they finally do free Thangordrim, it said they freed countless slaves. And I can't imagine people that have spent their whole lives in the dark, in the heat, underground with all these creatures and screaming and torture and that's just...
You're not coming out the same.
You're not coming out. There's not really a whole lot to say on this one. It's like, oh, you're stuck as a slave for the Dark Lord. It's nice knowing you.
Right.
Make it as long as you can.
That so far is like the absolute bottom of my list.
Yeah. Well, wait till you hear about my least favorite job in Middle Earth. But
well, let's see. What's next?
Well, I sort of put these last two. They're, the first one you can argue maybe not that bad. The last one is my least favorite job in Middle Earth. But the first one, I've kind of put these two together as called cosmic consequences, right? This isn't just...
I love the name, but I'd love to hear the description.
These aren't jobs that are just bad or you could die at. But these are jobs that fundamentally alter the fate and, in one case, the physicality of the world and the universe. The first one, going back to the Second Age, and our favorite, the Fall of Numenor. I put, and you can have a category, people, you can make it one dude, but the guy that's responsible for making Ar-Pharazôn the Golden's fleet of ships.
Now, for people that maybe haven't seen Rings of Power or know much about the Second Age, who is Ar-Pharazôn again?
Yeah, so Pharazôn is the last king of Numenor. Yep. The most powerful king of Numenor. The most powerful king ever to exist in men, if you will. And we talked a little bit in our last episode, but essentially, towards the end of the Second Age, Pharazôn's getting a little too big for his britches. He successfully sails a whole fleet to Middle-earth that is so impressive that Sauron and all of his forces, basically, his forces flee. Sauron surrenders to Pharazôn. So something the elves were not able to accomplish in the entire Second Age. Like this Sauron wrecked Eregion, killed a bunch of elves, forged the rings, has done all this stuff. And then the elves, it's not looking good for them. And they've already been rescued once by the humans in Numenor. Pharazôn sails a whole fleet to Middle-earth and captures Sauron, which is pretty much, it's a huge deal, right? Like, he has every right to gloat. Was it the right decision? Absolutely not. And what does he do? He brings Sauron back to Numenor. And Sauron, being Sauron, starts whispering and getting in his head and absolutely gets himself released from jail. Yep. And conveniently becomes an advisor to Ar-Pharazôn and starts putting all these crazy
Master
ideas
manipulator.
In his head. Master manipulator. So we're convincing him to build a temple of Morgoth. We're convincing him to do human sacrifice of Numenorians. It gets real dark in Numenor.
I'm looking forward to seeing this in Rings of Power.
Me too.
I really hope they
get it right.
A good job.
I hope they get it right. So things go really bad. Things are getting worse and worse. There's plagues. There's storms. The Valar send an eagle-shaped cloud as an ominous sign, being like, guys, stop it.
You're not doing good.
They're sending storms to wreck their ships. And while all of this is going on, Pharazôn directs some dude, unnamed, or a group of dudes, and he's like, build me the biggest fleet that's ever existed. Ignore all the human sacrifice. ignore all the craziness going on the island. I want you to spend the next 9 years building the biggest fleet that's ever existed. And it's a whole undertaking. Like, this guy's gonna, like I said, he's ignoring plagues and storms and people being like, maybe his relatives get thrown into the Temple of Morgoth. I don't know. And he's under duress.
Keep building.
Keep building ships. They don't have enough trees on Numenor, so they have to go raid the coasts of Eastern Middle Earth to get more trees to build. Again, this fleet was described as masts of the ships like a forest of mountain trees, right?
Okay.
Like, it is the thousands of ships. And this guy,
impressive.
Again, we don't know whose side he was on. Like, maybe he was like, yeah, let's do it. I like to imagine him as, this is a really bad idea, we should stop, but like not having a choice.
Right.
Because essentially, Ar-Pharazôn builds the biggest fleet ever and says, we're going to go attack the Undying Lands with the gods in it, because that's what Sauron's convinced him to do. Because
That's right.
you don't get to be immortal. And he's like, we don't get to be immortal. That's not fair. I'm going to take the fight to the gods.
Okay.
Great idea, right?
Right.
And then Pharazôn's fleet of 1,000 ships sails all the way to the Undying Lands. They step foot on.
Oh, they actually
actually make it. And the Valar are like, we've had enough. And then, of course, the entire destruction of Numenor.
So that's what causes it.
Yeah,
okay.
They actually make it to the edge of the Undying Lands and they walk on it, and that's it.
Oh, I can't wait.
But this poor guy has to build a fleet of ships for 9 years.
So basically the bad job would be one of those shipbuilders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. This is literally what we've been told not to do since the beginning of our island.
Right.
Why are we building ships again?
Yeah.
And again, for 9 years, like, ignore the screaming, ignore the temple of, like, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a really, really awful situation to be in for like, they're not building a fleet of ships for a year. Again, it's like almost a decade of building ships while you see your entire society crumbling around you and see Sauron rising to power as like the right-hand man of the king.
Yeah. Seeing all that and knowing it's not good.
Yeah.
But you still have to do your day job.
Yeah. And like, again, this is assuming the guy or the group of shipbuilders know that this is a really bad idea. And this is...
Because I could see it going both ways. It's probably a mixture of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe there's some that are like, we're Team Sauron.
Yeah, especially if you've got all that propaganda coming from Sauron.
Sauron's a master of propaganda, so...
Does that bring us to
the worst
our
job
possible,
maybe
actually worst job?
Well, it brings us to Kelsey's worst job in Middle-earth. And, people can disagree with me on this one. That's fine.
Well, let's hear it.
Let's hear it. So, Eärendil, a.k.a. Elrond's dad.
Okay.
So... Again, a little bit of first stage history, because you thought you could get through a whole episode without it with Kelsey.
Nope.
Here we are. Nope, we're here. He was the son of the daughter of the king of Gondolin.
Mm-hmm.
So Eärendil's mom, Idril, and the human Tuor get together, have Eärendil.
Mm-hmm.
So he's half elven.
Okay.
Which is where the whole like choice of,
because Elrond is half elven. Yeah. Also,
yes,
he had a brother that was also half elven. Anyway,
Elrond's dad. Long story, medium. Things are going really bad in the first stage.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of things happen. The elves get it handed to them by Morgoth.
Yeah,
they lose their cities. They lose.
I'm reading Silmarillion right now, or the audiobook, and it's bad. Yeah. Anyway,
it is a grim picture.
Yeah.
He makes it out of the fall of Gondolin. Just barely, when he's like 7 or whatever, and they choose to live on the coast. He basically marries the grandchild of Beren and Luthien.
Okay.
So also half-elven. You see the half-elven there, right?
Mm-hmm.
His wife, because of coming from Beren and Luthien, like, has the Silmaril that her grandparents stole from Morgoth, which is pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't know how to say this without like getting too far into the Silmarillion, but essentially, Elrond's dad and his mom have a Silmaril.
Mm-hmm.
The Noldor elves and the Sons of Fëanor find out they have a Silmaril. They come attack them. Elrond's mom, instead of giving up the Silmaril, throws it into the sea.
Oh no! Like
and
Titanic.
Throws herself in with it.
Okay.
Which is not a good move. And Ulmo, the god of the waves, doesn't let her kill herself. And he basically turns her into a great white bird. And she, like, wears the Silmaril. Like, basically, the god of the waters saves her and the Silmaril. Mm-hmm. Turns her into a bird and says, like...
She's got a brooch now.
Go find your husband. Elrond's dad is not happy about this, as you can imagine. So, after hearing what goes down and hearing what's happening... He's like, we gotta get some serious help here, because this first stage is not turning out well for any of us. He, Elrond's dad, Eärendil, sails to Valinor with his wife, the bird, like going with him with the Silmaril. So like also this guy's his wife is now like a bird. Anyway, we'll ignore that for now. Eärendil takes the Silmaril to go plead with the Valar to get some help in the first stage, right? Like they're like, we are losing. The elves
you guys
are dying.
gotta help us. Yeah.
Middle-earth is tanked. Like we need the heavies at this point in time. Like we're not handling this well ourselves. And because he undertook this very perilous journey, like you don't know if they're going to let you in to the Undying.
You can't just go over there.
Yeah, like Valinor is not open to anyone who shows up. So like there's a chance they could have just been like, nope, shut the doors. So they hear his case. He pleads his case, and he's like, hey, we really need your help. And I think bearing the token of the Silmaril gets their attention, and they finally listen to him. And to reward him, does he get to go back and see his family and do all these things? No. He does go back to Middle-earth briefly. He takes down a whole dragon. It's a whole thing. But again, at the end of everything in the first stage, instead of letting him like be reunited with his family, they set him in the Silmaril in the sky forever. Well, he's on a ship sailing through the sky with the Silmaril at its brow. It's so great. Doesn't get to go back to see his sons. He doesn't go back to
And you said he's not like, it's still him. Like he's still conscious and is now just a star.
It's not like he's not dead. He's like immortal in the sky with the Silmaril as a star of hope for all of elves and men.
I guess it depends on if he views it as a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah. Again, let's assume he's immortal. Let's assume that he's conscious. He is up in the sky, transiting the sky every day, hanging out, seeing everything go down for the next 5,000 years or however long.
Can't be good to watch.
He sees what happens to his sons. He sees what happens to Numenor. He sees all the tragedy that befalls Elrond, and he's just like up in the sky with his Silmaril.
Right.
And like, what does Elrond do? Wave up and be like, hey, Dad, it's not. Let him live forever. Like, make him immortal. Let him do his thing.
Right.
Let him be immortal with his wife and his sons.
I didn't know this. Like, whenever in the Lord of the Rings, there's a couple songs, I think, that talk about Eärendil and mention the star. And it sounded nice to me at first. I'm like,
our most beloved star.
Yeah, exactly.
Light of Eärendil.
Exactly.
Like,
the Phial of Galadriel.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the backstory of the fact that it's really Eärendil up there.
Yeah, it's him like, on a flying ship in the sky with the Silmaril. Like, look, maybe that's what he wanted. Maybe he'd had enough of the horrors of the first age. Is he really not going to go back and see his sons and his descendants ever again?
Yeah.
He was kind of up in the sky forever. And also, like, I don't think his wife is up in the sky with him. Like, maybe she sails with him as in a bird. I don't know.
Because it does remind me of, like, in The Rings of Power when Galadriel, was given the, quote, gift of going to Valinor. And for her, it's not a gift because she doesn't feel like her work is done in Middle-earth. So if he had that same type of feel, like I think you're alluding to with, like, people he cares about are still in Middle-earth. And he's given a, quote, gift of being a star in the sky forever. Yeah. It's like, maybe that's not actually a gift.
The reward he was looking for. Like, if it was me, I'd be kind of annoyed. I'm like, all right, I sailed all this way. I convinced you guys to fight for us. And now I just have
trying to save Middle-earth that has these people I care about. And
like, okay, so he goes back and fights a dragon, which, and Calagon the Black is the greatest dragon ever. And he takes him down with the eagles.
That's a whole other story.
That's a whole other, that's super badass. It's like one of the most badass things that ever happens. But after all that, no, he doesn't hang out with his wife, Elwing, and his sons, Elrond and Elros. Like, he goes up into the sky forever and stares at everything that happens for the rest of all eternity. Like, that seems like a raw deal for me. Like, I would be real sad if I were him.
Yeah, that's definitely not what I pictured the story to be when I hear about Eärendil the Star.
Yeah.
And like, oh, he probably passed away and...
I think he's still up there. I think he's still up there. Like, my take is he's still up there.
No, now that I know the backstory.
Forever bound to the sky.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe they, like, Men in Black wiped his memory so he doesn't know, but
we don't know.
But again, this is what breaks my heart. Every time Elrond looks up at the sky,
I know.
That's his dad. And he has to think about all the tragedy and everything that's befallen and he never got to see him again. Like,
if only we could interview Elrond.
No, I want to talk to Elrond. How does this make you feel to be therapist, Elrond? Yeah, so my vote for the worst job in Middle-earth is Eärendil because it is the most bittersweet of bittersweet endings.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I'm internally trying to figure out, picturing myself in that situation over the world.
Are you noble enough to sacrifice your happiness for the well-being of...
Or being a slave worker in Angband.
Not a good... That's true. At least you're like in the universe forever, being sad and
Yeah,
up in the sky.
I think my worst would be Angband.
Angband?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Slave work
I'd try to
Angband.
start a slave rebellion in Angband. I'd probably get killed doing it, but at least I feel like
At least you have a death.
you have a death or you have agency and you can try to take action. Like once Arundel's up in the sky, like that's it.
That's true. You're just stuck.
You're not breaking out of that.
It's hard to even imagine that. But yeah. But it's hard to imagine that. Yeah. And how that would really feel to be up there. I mean, we're talking thousands of years, like you said.
Yeah. Forever.
Forever. Yeah.
As far as we're into the ending of the world.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Anyway.
That's
cool.
a good one.
So, Angela, after all this discussion, what's your verdict? You really think the absolute worst job in Middle-earth is Angband?
I mean, I think so for me.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I were Arundel, I would try to think the best of it and think that it was an honor.
Yeah.
But
because that's what the Valor told you? Propaganda. It's propaganda.
I think I'd still pick it over Angband. Like,
Fair.
I've kind of landed on that being the worst. That and Utunmo, any of those dungeons sound awful to me. What about you? What's your? Well, I guess
it's Arundel. It's Arundel, but like I want to ask our listeners, like, what do you think? Because I know we've covered a lot of ground here. So, like, would you rather work a job where you definitely die quickly, or at least have a death like Angband, or would you like to suffer for centuries and or just stay in the sky for all eternity and see your descendants die off and be sad like Arundel? You're just going to get a couple calf cramps carrying mail around the shop.
Right. Or shoveling poop. Yeah. Let us know what your worst job would be on social media.
Tell us all the things. And while we're at it, like, feel free to let us know what terrible jobs in Middle-earth did we miss, or like stray thoughts you've had. Because there's definitely
love
plenty
to hear it.
We probably didn't think of in this episode.
Maybe we can have another episode, which is the best jobs of Middle-earth and what we'd actually like to do.
I would overthrow Barliman Butterbur and take over management of the prince.
I can do this so much better.
So I can run the heck out of this.
Hey, I've always dreamed about running a bed and breakfast. That'd be nice.
So Middle-earth dream, we're going to start.
Yeah,
we're going to
Prancing Pony.
Launch a coup against Barliman and take over the Prancing Pony. Turn into the Prancing Pony Club.
Prancing Pony Club.
Awesome. So I think that brings us to our call to adventure. If you enjoyed wandering with us today, please subscribe to Beyond the Brandywine on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
You can also find us on YouTube at Beyond the Brandywine. We'll be putting up visual tangents to accompany some of the podcasts, as well as recordings of the podcasts themselves.
And for even more Middle-earth musings, follow us on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook at Beyond the Brandywine.
Plus, find all of our links and more at beyondthebrandywine.com.
We would love to hear what you think are the worst jobs in Middle-earth, so reach out to us on socials or email us at hello@beyondthebrandywine.com.
What was that again?
hello@beyondthebrandywine.com.
And until next time, may your employment be less dangerous than putting the reins on the fell beast.
And remember, don't be afraid to wander beyond the Brandywine. Unique minister. See, it doesn't have the same ring as.
We'll come up with
out.
We'll come up with some Lord of the Rings one.
How now, Brown Radagast? That doesn't work either, but now I have it. So
I love it.
Cool. All right.